I've always been into cars. I mean, I remember very young, my dad would always take me to local cars and coffees. Yeah, the first exotic I ever saw was a orange Lamborghini Diablo. It was a Nicolas Cage's Diablo, actually. And, or at least that's what they told me. That could be completely wrong, but actually we can use VinWiki to figure that out, I'm sure. When I started to get a little older, maybe around like 15, 16, and I was getting into the driving age, my dream car was always an E92 M3, actually. And funny enough, I'm not even a big BMW guy at all, but I'd always wanted an E92. At the time, I was producing music. I had a recording studio in Nashville, Tennessee, out of my parents' house. And I would have people from school come over that played guitar and drums, whatever. We'd make some tracks. I'd make a little bit of money, and it was not E92 M3 money at all. My first car was a 2008 C300, which lasted 2 days. It blew up, or not blew up, but the electronics basically took a shit in a parking lot. So took that one back to the dealer, got a 2009 C350, and that one was fine. But still, I wanted that E92 M3. When COVID happened, it kind of like took a turn with the music industry. Artists weren't touring anymore. They weren't making much money, so they couldn't do studio time, whatever. So I was like, all right, well, I got to figure something else out. Chandler Welling, who actually has been on VinWiki before, he had a media company called Welling Media. And he took a chance on me to go in and become part of their editing team, which up until now, I had never once had a 9 to 5. I had always just kind of like figured it out on my own. I mean, even when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I was an actor. So I did like a little bit of stuff with Nickelodeon, the SpongeBob movie, if anybody has seen that. And so this was like a big change of pace for me. And Chandler's massively into cars. Chandler, yeah, he had a 2019 Aston Martin Vantage. He had there was a 2015 Huracan, GT3 RS, 4x4 squared, all these cars. And so I'm like going into work every day, seeing all these crazy cars. And I'm like, dude, like this is insane. Like I've never really been around them like up close that much before. So that was something I always wanted to try and work towards. And again, in the back of my mind, I'm like E92 M3. That's kind of what I wanted. And I didn't even know why, because I wasn't even that much into BMWs, but I loved the S65 motor with a dual clutch trans. I loved that. I was not a 6-speed guy, for anybody that is in the 6-speed cult. After I'd been working there for a while and I had some stable income, rather than just kids tossing me some cash for producing a song for them, I financed a white C63. It was not the S. It was a 2017 C63, and that was like the coolest thing ever. And it's still to this day, that's a very incredible car. I ended up leaving that media company to kind of go out on my own, and that's when I started Moore Media, which is actually getting changed because there's somebody in Texas that has that name and they don't like me having that name. So anyway, Moore Media will be changed soon, but that is my company. And we do content for YouTubers like WhistlinDiesel, Wildcat, some e-commerce brands. When I had left the media company, I had really started working with Tyler Wildcat, who's another big YouTuber. I think he's got like 8 million on YouTube. He's massively into cars as well. Right now he's got a blue Cephas STO, 997.2 GT3 RS, 6-speed Gallardo, great cars. So he and I had been doing a lot of content together. He had lived like not even 10 minutes from me. 10 minutes from him is Cody. Kind of heard that he was in town. He was kind of like fresh in Tennessee, and I had heard from some friends that like they kept spotting like a twin turbo R8 ripping up and down the highway everywhere, and I was like, I've never seen this car. We ended up all just kind of like connecting through dirt bikes and four-wheelers or whatever. Cody had a big property. Tyler loved riding as well, and so we'd go out there all the time, just kind of hang out. But for a lot of you that don't know, Cody edited every single one of his YouTube videos up until the R32 plus R32 equals R34 video, where we stacked the GTRs on top of each other. That's the first video I ever edited for Cody. I was just kind of like, dude, like, let me take that off your hands and kind of, I guess, alleviate all the stress of editing, and I'll handle that. You do your thing, and also for anybody that's a content creator, I think unless you have all the time in the world to do it, you should always be outsourcing that anyway, because it's impossible to have a full flow of creativity if you are just like hammering down on every little aspect along the way, because you're not able to fully hone in on anything really, because there's a million things going on. So anyway, I took that off Cody's hands. I started editing for him. He's been a client of mine since I believe around the end of 21, and we started doing all the crazy video, G-Wagon and all that stuff. That's what I guess I do like day in, day out. And so it's like it's become, or I guess I've become kind of numb to it, which is probably not good, because like it is such a rare thing to even be in that spot. which, I mean, I try to never take that for granted, because editing a video where then you see in 24 hours it's at like 2 million views, like 2 million people have clicked on that video. That's like, that's still, I mean, to this day, it's still the craziest thing ever. But like, I mean, I know, as you know as well, of, you know, with VINwiki uploading all these videos and there's, you know, X amount of views. It's a very surreal thing to know that like that amount of people are clicking on that video every time. So I ended up getting a 2017 C63S Edition 1. I swapped the white one out for that one. Yeah, it was like way too good of a deal to pass up. I think I was looking for like an AMG GTS or something like that to replace, but that deal popped up, way too good to pass up. So I had that. I had that car for about 2 years, I believe. Made a ton of content with that car. I mean, I know that car has even made an appearance on Cody's channel somewhere. But yeah, over time, I mean, I think the end goal for anybody in the car world, I mean, obviously you want that exotic, you know, like you want to get a supercar, and that had never felt like it was something that was like fully obtainable. Like honestly, it just never did. Now I got a 2017 Audi R8. I didn't pay cash for it. I financed it, you know. So being in a position to do that though, like even finance something like that, is just absolutely unreal. But yeah, that had just been a dream of mine for so long. And so like, I think that being in the space of like automotive content creation, but also being able to kind of like live that in real life is like a very cool thing as well. I mean, I'm 22 now. And so yeah, back in 16 and 17, like I said earlier, wanting an E92 M3, like that's not even that long ago. And now it's like, I have an R8. It's like, yes, that's not the craziest and newest and best supercar out there, but obviously for anybody who's my age, early 20s, that's a big dream for a lot of people. That's, you know, to get like something like that, like a supercar. And I mean, like I said, I never thought that it was something that could be obtainable, but to be in that position where now cash or finance or whatever, to do any of that is something that is so surreal to me.
Once again, I want to thank Bridgestone for their support of VINwiki this month, for their support of the channel, and all they're going to do with us throughout the year. We're going to test some tires, use some tires, and have them talk about what the tire business is like from their perspective and all the great things that Bridgestone is doing as a brand, including becoming an OEM offering on cars like Porsches, Lamborghinis, and things like that in the past couple of years. And so I know that you're going to love that, but I know that you'll also love their tires. And so whether you go to Tire Rack and order a set of Bridgestones for your car, or also check them out at the link in the description below, check out the Potenza range of tires for road cars, supercars, sports cars, hypercars. They are amazing, and I know they'll treat you well. Have a great day.